Have you ever felt ignored by someone you care about? You text first, you wait for replies, you try harder, you give more, and still, they don't choose you. The truth is, the moment you fight for someone's attention, you lose your value. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what to do instead. Because chasing attention pushes people away, but this video, it will make people chase you. Comment, no more begging. Number 1, attention is power. Attention is power because whatever you focus on grows in your mind, and whatever grows in your mind begins to control your behavior, your posture, your tone, your decisions, and your standards. And right now, you are giving that power away every time you refresh your messages, every time you reread a conversation searching for hidden meaning, every time you adjust your personality just to maintain interest, and you tell yourself it is effort, you tell yourself it is care, you tell yourself it is investment, but in reality it is overexposure and imbalance, because the one who seeks validation is always negotiating from below, and you sense this imbalance in subtle ways. You notice you are the one initiating more, planning more, adapting more, tolerating more, and the moment you start tolerating inconsistency, you communicate that your attention has no cost, and anything with no cost has no respect attached to it. So understand this clearly. The person who chases gives leverage away. The person who waits calmly retains leverage. And this is not manipulation. This is psychological law, because human beings protect what they earn and undervalue what is handed to them without resistance. And when you flood someone with availability, you remove mystery, you remove scarcity, you remove the space required for anticipation, and anticipation is where attraction grows. And right now you are collapsing that space by over-texting, over-checking, over-analyzing, and you know it because your mood shifts depending on how quickly someone replies, which means your emotional state is outsourced, and that is the most dangerous position to be in, because your peace now depends on external behavior you do not control. And Stoic discipline begins here, not in cold detachment, but in internal control. Because you cannot control who gives attention, you can only control how much of yours you distribute and under what conditions. And this requires brutal honesty with yourself. Because you are not ignored randomly. You are ignored when you make yourself too available. You are deprioritized when you demonstrate that you will remain regardless of effort, and that realization stings, because it forces you to see your participation in the pattern. But that sting is growth. And growth begins when you stop blaming modern dating culture and start auditing your own investment patterns. And here is the practical shift you implement immediately. You track reciprocity, not emotionally but objectively. You observe who initiates, who schedules, who follows through, who adjusts. And if the scale is tilted heavily in your direction, you correct it by reducing your output without drama, without speeches, without passive-aggressive remarks. You simply match energy, and matching energy restores balance, because it forces the other person to step forward or fade, and either outcome benefits you, because clarity replaces confusion. And when clarity replaces confusion, your mind frees up bandwidth for progress instead of obsession. And that progress is visible in your body language, in your speech cadence, in your daily routines, and people respond differently to a man who is centered versus one who is scanning for validation. And you have seen this dynamic before, even if you never named it. You have noticed that when you are busiest, when you are least focused on impressing anyone, attention increases naturally, not because you are pretending not to care, but because your priorities shift toward growth, and growth creates gravity, and gravity pulls without chasing. And this is why discipline matters more than charm, because discipline builds self-respect, and self-respect subtly changes how others perceive you. And if you truly understand that attention is power, then you stop giving it cheaply. You stop handing it to someone who invests minimally. You stop consuming their social media stories like daily rituals. You stop responding instantly to every notification. You build pauses into your responses so that your reactions are chosen rather than impulsive. And those pauses are not games. They are training for emotional control. And emotional control is dominance over self. And dominance over self is the foundation of respect from others. And you begin practicing small acts of restraint daily. You leave a message unanswered for a while, not out of spite, but because you are engaged in something productive. You schedule your day with priorities that outrank social validation. You build habits that make your time valuable, and when your time becomes valuable, you naturally guard it. And when you guard it, others begin to treat it as valuable too. And this is where many fail, because they want attention without becoming worthy of selective attention. They want devotion without embodying discipline. They want loyalty without demonstrating strength of character. And strength of character is built through consistent self-command, waking up at a fixed hour, training your body even when you lack motivation, finishing tasks before leisure, investing in skills that increase your competence, and competence builds confidence that does not rely on external affirmation. And once your confidence becomes self-generated, you stop performing for approval, you speak slower, you text less, you choose words deliberately, and you do not over-explain your boundaries, because boundaries enforced through action require no explanation. And this shift is noticeable because the energy you once spent chasing is redirected toward building, and building creates progress, and progress creates options, and options eliminate desperation, and the man with options does not cling, he evaluates, and evaluation restores hierarchy in your life. Because now you are not asking how to keep someone interested, you are asking whether they qualify for your time, and that mental shift alone transforms your posture internally, because now attention is something you allocate strategically rather than something you beg to receive. And once you internalize that truth, you realize that fighting for attention was never about them. It was about your fear of losing validation, and when you confront that fear directly and build a life structured around growth, purpose, and restraint, your attention becomes powerful again. And powerful attention is calm, selective, deliberate, and earned, not scattered, anxious, and free. And when your attention carries weight, people treat it differently because they sense that access to you is no longer automatic, and that shift changes everything. And if this shift is opening your eyes to how much power you've been giving away, the Stoic Relationship Blueprint ebook for men goes even deeper into these timeless principles and shows you exactly how to apply them step by step in your daily life, so you stop chasing and start leading yourself with discipline and clarity. It is built on practical Stoic frameworks that train your mind to stay grounded under pressure, raise your standards without guilt, and build the kind of inner stability that changes how people respond to you immediately. It's now available in audiobook form, which means you can absorb this life-changing knowledge while walking, training, commuting, or sitting alone thinking about the direction of your life. The link is in the comments, and once you own it, it is yours permanently, so you can return to it whenever you need recalibration, strength, or clarity during difficult moments. If you are serious about ending the cycle of fighting for attention and replacing it with structure, confidence, and self-respect, this is not an expense. It is an investment in the version of you that no longer negotiates his worth. Number 2, desperation kills attraction. Attraction collapses the moment you communicate that you need someone more than you need your purpose. And you are communicating need in subtle behaviors you pretend are harmless. You reply instantly because you are afraid of losing momentum. You over-explain your schedule so you appear considerate. You adjust your opinions so there is no disagreement. You cancel your own plans when she becomes available. and every small compromise stacks quietly until your identity shrinks. And shrinking is never attractive because attraction responds to strength, direction, and self-trust, not accommodation and overinvestment. And you sense this dynamic already, because the more you try to secure interest, the more distant the response becomes. Not because someone is evil or calculating, but because human nature leans away from pressure and leans toward autonomy. And when your actions communicate that your emotional stability depends on her reactions, you create invisible weight, and that weight suffocates desire. And the painful truth is that your anxiety about losing her makes you behave in ways that guarantee loss, because anxiety seeks reassurance, and reassurance requests lower your value, and lower value reduces respect. And respect is the foundation of attraction, and without respect, interest fades into convenience. And convenience is where you are placed when you are always available, always agreeable, always ready. And you may tell yourself you are being kind, but kindness without boundaries becomes submission. And submission in early dating dynamics destroys polarity because there is no challenge, no uncertainty, no need for investment from the other side. And when there is no need to invest, there is no attachment formed, and you end up confused, wondering why your effort does not produce closeness. And the reason is simple. Effort without scarcity equals invisibility, and the Stoic approach demands that you detach your identity from outcomes you do not control. You cannot control who is attracted to you. You cannot control response time. You cannot control shifting emotions, but you fully control your standards, your reactions, your pace, your focus, and your energy allocation. And when you begin exercising control over these variables, you shift from reactive to grounded, and grounded presence is compelling because it signals internal stability, and internal stability cannot coexist with desperation. And desperation reveals itself most clearly in over-pursuit. You double text after 30 minutes because silence makes you restless. You check online status indicators as if they hold hidden meaning. You replay conversations searching for mistakes, and in doing so you elevate someone else to the center of your mental world, and whoever occupies the center controls your direction. And if your direction depends on validation, your confidence remains fragile. And fragile confidence seeks constant reinforcement, and reinforcement requests are unattractive because they imply you do not trust your own worth. And the transformation begins when you interrupt this cycle at the behavioral level, not by affirmations but by discipline. You create response gaps deliberately, not to manipulate, but to train restraint. You stop explaining your value and allow actions to display it. You decline last-minute plans that disrespect your schedule. You refuse to chase after cancelled dates without a reschedule proposed by her. You maintain your routines regardless of romantic uncertainty, and this consistency builds an internal anchor. And once anchored, you stop spiraling over temporary shifts in attention. And this is where power returns to you, because now your peace is not negotiable. And you realize that attraction grows when you are selective rather than available, when you are composed rather than reactive, when you are focused rather than fixated. And you begin noticing that when you are immersed in building your career, improving your physique, strengthening your social circle, and sharpening your mind, you are less tempted to overinvest in a single person. And paradoxically, that reduction in need increases intrigue, because intrigue requires unpredictability, and unpredictability exists only when your life is full enough that you are not orbiting someone else. And the controversial truth is that most romantic disappointment you experience is self-created through overexposure, over-pursuit, and underdeveloped self-discipline. And that realization may challenge your ego, but it empowers your future. Because if you created the pattern, you can break it. And breaking it requires standards that are enforced silently through action. If she disappears for days without explanation, you do not interrogate, you redirect. If she gives minimal effort, you scale back investment, If she shows inconsistency, you observe rather than confront immediately, because observation provides clarity, and clarity prevents emotional impulsivity, and impulsivity is the gateway to desperation. And the more composed you become, the more you see that attraction is not about convincing someone of your worth, but embodying worth so completely that convincing becomes unnecessary, and embodying worth requires competence. And competence is built through repetition of disciplined behaviors daily, training your body when tired, finishing work before entertainment, limiting digital distractions, setting financial targets and hitting them, strengthening communication skills. And when these foundations are built, you stop fearing loss, because your identity expands beyond one connection. And when loss is no longer terrifying, you stop gripping tightly, and when you stop gripping tightly, people sense freedom around you, and freedom is magnetic because it implies abundance, and abundance eliminates desperation at the root. And when desperation disappears, attraction has room to grow naturally, not through pressure, but through mutual investment. And this is how you transform from someone chasing reassurance into someone evaluating alignment. And that shift changes not only your dating life, but your entire posture in life, because the discipline required to eliminate desperation strengthens every area. Your health improves, your focus sharpens, your standards rise, your time becomes structured, your decisions become deliberate, and with each disciplined action, you reinforce the identity of a man who does not bend under emotional uncertainty, and that identity commands respect silently, and respect is the soil where attraction grows. And once you internalize this deeply, you stop asking how to make someone want you and start asking whether their behavior aligns with your standards. And that single question filters out chaos, preserves your dignity, and positions you as someone who chooses rather than someone who pleads. And that is the moment desperation dies and genuine attraction becomes possible. Number 3. Pull your energy back. You regain control the moment you stop overextending yourself towards someone who has not earned that level of access. And right now, you are overextending in subtle ways you pretend are harmless. You check in when she has not checked in. You maintain conversations that clearly lack enthusiasm. You continue investing after inconsistent behavior because you hope consistency will eventually be rewarded. And this pattern keeps you emotionally off balance because you are giving priority treatment to someone who has not demonstrated priority behavior. And the hard truth is that attention without qualification weakens your position every time, not because someone is calculating against you, but because people invest where they sense challenge and withdraw, where they sense certainty without effort. And when you make your presence guaranteed, regardless of her investment, you eliminate the tension that fuels curiosity, and curiosity is essential for attraction to develop. And this is why restraint becomes power, because restraint signals that access to you is conditional, not automatic, and conditional access creates respect, and respect creates effort, and effort creates connection. And most of your frustration comes from skipping this sequence entirely by offering full access before alignment is proven, and alignment is not words but behavior. It is consistency, punctuality, initiative, and emotional stability. And if those are missing and you continue escalating your effort, you are negotiating against yourself. And Stoic discipline requires that you observe behavior without reacting impulsively. You collect data quietly, you notice patterns, you measure reciprocity objectively, and if the investment is unequal, you correct your side without emotional speeches or dramatic exits. You simply reduce availability. You shorten conversations that lack engagement. You redirect your focus to productive activities when communication slows, and you stop chasing clarity through excessive explanation, because clarity is revealed through actions over time, not through interrogation, and this shift demands internal strength because your ego wants reassurance immediately. Your ego wants to secure certainty now, But maturity delays gratification. Maturity tolerates uncertainty without scrambling to eliminate it. And when you tolerate uncertainty calmly, you display emotional independence. And emotional independence is rare, and rarity increases value. And you begin to notice something powerful when you operate from this grounded position. The dynamic changes. Either she steps forward to match your pace, or she drifts away. And both outcomes benefit you, because one restores balance and the other removes misalignment. And misalignment removed early saves you months of confusion later. And this is where many fail, because they fear loss more than they value self-respect, and that fear drives over-pursuit. And over-pursuit communicates that you do not trust your ability to replace what leaves, and that lack of trust is visible even if you never verbalize it. And people respond to that energy by relaxing their effort because they sense you will remain regardless. And when you understand this clearly, you begin enforcing boundaries through action. If she cancels twice without rescheduling, you stop initiating plans. If responses become one-word replies, you stop carrying the conversation. If effort declines, you mirror the reduction rather than compensating for it. And this is not manipulation, this is calibration. And calibration ensures that your investment always reflects reality rather than fantasy. And you stop fantasizing about potential and start evaluating present behavior. And that evaluation prevents emotional attachment to an idea rather than a person. And the more you practice this, the stronger your internal frame becomes. Because now your stability is not anchored to her mood shifts, but to your own standards, and you begin structuring your life in a way that reinforces this independence. You build routines that demand focus. You commit to physical training that strengthens discipline. You pursue professional growth that increases competence. You cultivate friendships that expand your world. And the fuller your life becomes, the less temptation you have to over-focus on one connection. And paradoxically, the less you over-focus, the more attractive you become, because your attention becomes selective, and selective attention carries weight. And when someone senses that your time must be earned, they treat it differently. And this entire transformation begins with a simple but difficult act. You stop overgiving in the face of inconsistency. You stop proving your worth through excessive availability. You stop reacting to every fluctuation in communication as if it defines your value, and instead you anchor your identity in controllable behaviors. You show up for your commitments daily. You refine your skills. You manage your finances. You maintain your physical condition. You read, you plan, you execute. And through this repetition, you build internal certainty. And internal certainty eliminates the urge to chase external validation. And once validation is no longer your fuel, you become calm under uncertainty. And calm under uncertainty is compelling because it suggests abundance. And abundance mindset shifts your posture from seeking approval to assessing compatibility. And that shift changes everything, because now you are not asking how to regain her attention. You are asking whether her behavior aligns with the standards you live by, and this perspective protects your dignity, preserves your energy, and redirects your focus toward growth, and growth compounds over time. And as it compounds, your options expand, and expanded options dissolve. Scarcity thinking, and when scarcity dissolves, your behavior becomes measured rather than reactive, and measured behavior signals strength. And strength commands respect without demanding it. And when respect enters, the dynamic attraction has room to breathe naturally rather than being forced through pursuit. And this is how you transform your position entirely, not by arguing, not by convincing, not by pleading, but by recalibrating your investment, reinforcing your standards, and building a life so structured and purposeful that overextending toward inconsistency no longer appeals to you. And in that moment, you are no longer fighting for attention, you are allocating it strategically, and that strategic allocation restores your power permanently. Number 4, build a life that distracts you. Your real problem is not that someone is inconsistent with you. Your real problem is that your life is too centered around one source of validation. And when your day lacks mission, structure, and measurable progress, your mind searches for stimulation, and that stimulation becomes her texts, her replies, her online activity. Her tone changes, and now your emotional rhythm is synchronized to someone who has not committed to you. And that dependency shrinks your authority over your own time. And when your time has no clear direction, you start orbiting someone else's schedule, adjusting your availability instantly, postponing your priorities, checking your phone during tasks that require focus, and you justify it by calling it interest. But the truth is that you are under-occupied, and under-occupation breeds over-attachment. And over-attachment leads to chasing, and chasing leads to imbalance. And imbalance kills attraction every single time. And the solution is not emotional tricks. It is expansion of your life in every dimension that increases your leverage and internal certainty. Because when your calendar is full of meaningful work, physical training, skill development, financial progress, and social growth, you simply do not have the bandwidth to obsess over inconsistent behavior. And this shift is not theoretical, it is operational. You wake up at a fixed hour regardless of how late you slept. You schedule your workouts with the same seriousness as business meetings. You define quarterly goals that scare you. You break them into weekly targets, then into daily non-negotiable actions. And you track execution, not motivation, because motivation fluctuates, but discipline compounds. And as discipline compounds, your posture changes subtly. You walk slower. You speak more deliberately. You respond instead of react. And when communication gaps happen, you do not spiral into analysis because your identity is anchored in progress. And progress creates stability, and stability eliminates desperation. And here is the controversial truth you avoid confronting. When someone senses that they are the most exciting part of your life, they lose attraction, not because they dislike you, but because the dynamic becomes heavy, and nobody wants to carry the responsibility of being someone else's primary source of meaning. And when you make her your primary source of emotional stimulation, you unintentionally reduce your appeal. And you do this through constant availability, immediate replies, flexible boundaries, and excessive accommodation. And the way you reverse this pattern is by designing a life that competes with romance for your attention. You pursue a certification that increases your income potential. You build a side project that requires creative focus. You strengthen your body through progressive overload. You refine your diet. You track your sleep. You improve your wardrobe deliberately. You expand your social circle by initiating plans with friends. You attend events that challenge your comfort zone. And with each layer added, your world expands beyond one connection. And as your world expands, your attachment to any single outcome decreases, and decreased attachment produces calm presence. And calm presence is attractive because it signals abundance rather than scarcity. And this is where Stoic application becomes practical.